Okay, so um, the bias isn't the cleanest today, but I'll go over what we've done so far. So ideally, we continue the expansion lower as the weekly supports expansion and the daily. And because on Monday, price created S&P with range low, but we are clearly failing to mitigate or expand away from that. So daily we catch up and break this S&P. But then if you drop down to the 4 hour, you'll see price is being created literally no S&P with these further swings here. Like, I can't really trade away from that. It's not really clean. And then if you go on to like NQ, you'll see NQ is clearly going to reach those highs. It's clearly a stronger asset. We have a PSP on the daily, so second stage PSP. But like this low here, 2200 was never taken. We got some T here. And because today, I don't like how today opened up, immediately opened lower, and took pretty low, and then created that reversal signature away from it. London C3 away from it. So, like, both sides, I think bullishness looks cleaner, honestly, now, at this point. So I think I might do that, because I can't really trade away from these filler swings, and I think it's clean the target them. Then you go to, like, RTY. Still, every market has clean fucking highs above. So, the model at this point would be, this is way cleaner. Water pairing ranges, range low. Range high. Which of course I don't think we're gonna reach these, but as the daily supports expansion bullishly, the forward does as well. I just don't think it's clean, like, I don't think it's as clean for price to reach for this low than it is to at higher to take these for this ones. I think that bullishness is cleaner. I think it would have been cleaner though if today opened up left pretty low, created filler swings, and then headed higher into this key level to create internal to external. But the fact that we opened lower, manipulated pretty low, which is a key 1 hour 4 level, created S&P with that relevant swing, and then London put in the reversal away from that. We can assume this is London manipulation, 6 a.m. continuation, where both the daily and 4 hour support expansion. So let me drop down to the 1 hour or 30 minute, and you'll see we got that V-shaped formation away from it. But now all we're doing is stream for expansion channels away from this key level towards the target level, once we have all these low hanging fruits moving target. To get to that main probability. And then what are we doing prior to the cover? We retrace into a key level, right? And then put in that reversal with a C2 prior to the driver, but also it's a prime C2 because we created that CXT. So this would be driver continuation, which means I have to enter on the 1 hour 30 minute off of a CFC. This would be literally perfect. I think today's a little bit lower probability because, like I said, both bearishness and bullishness is valid. I just think bullishness is way cleaner. Also, I like how we create S&T with this high here, but we're clearly failing to expand away from that. Looks like so. But in order for me to enter here, I have to see 9 a.m. close above here in 4 minutes. So. Let's hold that SMT. But if we don't do that, then I might just wait for the driver to confirm the narrative. If we expand lower to our current day low, then I'll expect continuation to reach for this low at that point. But if we close above here, then I'll take that as an entry. Assuming this is low day, we should expand higher towards the target level. Get that C3 expansion in driver. I can't really trust. I mean, unless the driver opens up, takes the slow, creates SMT with the slow or whatever, and then confirms the reversal with the 5 or 3 minutes AC or whatever. But so the daily is force expansion bullishly. The floor is force expansion bullishly for 6 a.m. C3 or C4 continuation. Expansion can all the way from the key level. And we actually get this. Right. So what are we doing prior to the driver? Well, right now we're not actually doing what I wanted to do, so I don't know. Interesting. So we are holding this SMT. Let's gotta wait. I feel like we kind of see some strength switching happening here for Wyoming to catch up. We'll see. It's not too hard, is it? So, SMT. I don't want to see price expand too far above this. Hopefully not take this high up before the driver, before my entry, but we'll see. We have a minute and looking at it in a minute. Clearly I have some form of strength switching. I hate when 9 a.m. does this. Pray to the driver. Fucking. Somebody just broke that SMT. Just let the driver confirm the narrative. So now, like, the daily doesn't really, it's kind of a pretty large wick above the daily open. It's more supports expansion bullish really, but everything kind of aligns with that, so we'll let the driver confirm the narrative, and then we'll try trading titanium continuation, but I think I shouldn't even trade today because of the daily wise isn't really too clear, but nevertheless the daily supports expansion bullishly in the forward does, so that's all that really kind of matters. And the bias on the flyer is pretty clean, so. So a lot can happen in 30 minutes. String switching to catch up, break this S&P. Same here. So much weaker or stronger. Now weaker. Volume is making a higher low. Part of the driver, or during the driver. Yeah, part of the driver. To catch up and break this S&T. So the strength switching is the trigger for expansion to break this S&T to reach for the target level. So the rest didn't give me an entry because I didn't want to see Nodium. Reason why I don't want to see Nodium expand so far above here is because if we close like around here, the driver probably could have booked me in for right there, but now it's like, as you can see, it fell too, so. Unless we were like very volatile, price could have easily headed down into here, even right here, and then head higher. We could have done that, but the fact that we did this and then we started to expand higher, taking this high out, it's lower probability. There's no point. Just, you gotta wait now. Now at this point, also the daily doesn't really support expansion bearishly. Right, or so the T spot, I guess. It's still valid. It's still not too crazy. It's not really clean formation. If we were to do open low, high, low, the wick side is bigger than normal, but it's not like crazy. I could still trade it. The draw liquidity at this point isn't clean, unless we could have for those things with pretty low, then that would be clean. But since we took pretty low right away and then head higher, yeah, it's just not clean. I would not. There's something I'm trading. It's just shit. It's gonna be cleaner days easily. There's usually like 2, maybe 3, sometimes only 1, but usually 2 to 3 really good days per week. So Friday's just one of those days I just skip it. There's no point. Sadly, this week wasn't the best, but it's the first week. Or wait, no way. Wait, hold on. Yeah, this is the second week. It's not really going well. But I know a lot is changing quickly, so it's all good. I only traded 3 times. Which 3 times out of 10 days of the week, or of these past 2 weeks. I want to revise this real quick. So this day I lost at break even. I changed a lot here. This is, after this is in the driver. High impact news on YM. So okay, it's daily. So I liked how we reverse away from the filler swings here. This is viewed as retracement. We reached a key level. We had S&P fill. We didn't put in a reversal on the daily, but I was anticipating a reversal to form away from this, almost like the next day moment. Either we're going to create C2 reversal, ideally we don't, or we create C3 reversal. At the time we were all on the CC3. Everything supported at the time with that second stage S&P strong switching. The daily candle formation, right, where we're creating a C3 reversal. And we had technically water pair and ranges, range low to range high. But we had technically 6 a.m. manipulation. Yeah. So I was looking for, I think I was trading, I didn't trade 6 a.m. because of the large wick. We did validated the T-spot. So I was waiting for the next 4 candle. For 6 a.m. manipulation, 10 a.m. continuation, everything supports a daily for the universal model, all that, right? SP. Is right clean. So I was looking for 10 EM C3. So what did we do? Dropping down dropping down to the 1 hour 30 minute. 10 EM is opening up with an GxT continuation sequence. Where 9 AM created that C2, and now 10 AM should create C3, and then the refining validation level would be the CST, of course, or EQ this range. So this was a good example of, like, sometimes you can't really always believe it because then you're going to just miss on trades, but you can see it, like, sometimes when C2 creates a large ass wick or a candle like this, expansion candle, C3 might not actually continue, and we might just consolidate, reaccumulate to then expand or continue. So that's kind of what happened today, but nevertheless, everything's supported. 1 hour 30 minute line of expansion, the 4 hour line of expansion, as long as 10 respects the validation levels, and expand away from the C3, ideally, or just as long as it creates that small wick and respects the, doesn't head too far lower into this range. And then daily alignment with expansion. Alright, let's drop it down to the entry. You see 10 AM opened up here within a continuation order block. So I don't need to see 10 AM create a new continuation order block. I can just simply just bow for that. And then you see price give it deep ass retracement. But price gave a deep ass retracement into that continuation order block. Where I had a tight stop loss, and price technically it should have worked me out, but I got very lucky, and then price I was able to take off at break even. And then I don't know if I think price may have continued the expansion higher, but it wasn't worth holding on to because of what the 1 hour 30 minute was looking like. So so yeah, it was a basic break even, doesn't really fucking matter, but it was a good trade. This was another break even, so it doesn't really matter. Our shit was, yeah, break even, $25 in profit. But this day I forgot, I think, I don't know. But let's go daily bias. Yesterday I made the 6 HPSP C2 bullshit. This is on the ES. Super clean eyes. They were right below the brother swing. So there's no reason or like we need to expand higher away from the swing point to reach this. There's no reason to reverse lower now at this point. So drop it so the daily price is clean, dropping down to the 1 hour and 4 hour. We have the refining validation level being a gap, so internal external range model. We have London reaching that key level but falling to reverse, so ideally 16 reverse off pretty kind of low. At the time it did before the driver, prior to the driver, so the daily and the 4 hour aligned with expansion at the time. Alright. So drop it down to the 1 hour 30 minute. what did we do part of the driver? We had that C2, C3 reversal and that CSD, so driver continuation. So I was entering off of that 30-minute or whatever CSD, and then price almost takes me out for returning back above my entry, where I didn't like how the winner didn't create that large wick, so the driver probably won't expand too far above us, although we could have. I probably should have held on to this, honestly. That's a trade I should have held on to. So I can tell, like, I keep getting into my own way, but the stay is still nevertheless reversed away from literally nothing, so I just felt to sort of support off that key level. So it was a good takeoff, but at the same time, I don't think I should have right there. And then we have this day, which was recent. This was this week, on Wednesday, 2 days ago. So daily buys. So I was looking for SMT with range low, right? And since RTY was showing weakness, we created that SMT. I wanted to see strength switching, which price did show. The daily at the time supported expansion bullishly to target pretty high to create that C3 reversal. So again, the daily bias isn't really clean. We don't have a clear swing point to trade away from this key level, but I was kind of anticipating the reversal. So of course I'm trading lower probability days at this point, but I kind of have to. This day was still very clean. So we had dropping another for our winner to find the invalidation level. Look for the universal level and for a away from that. But we have water pairing ranges with age reversal away from that key level. And so now all we're doing is trading for expansion candles away from the low day, or away from this key level towards the target level. So 6 a.m. opened up. Prior to that 6 a.m. London created that continuation, so ideally 6 a.m. respects the T spot here, EQ the pretty far kind of range to support expansion away from the low day, away from this key level. Alright, so the daily in for our support expansion, dropping down to create order pairing ranges really low. Now dropping down to the 1 hour and 30 minutes. This is where we showed strength switching on RTY, I think. There was clear strength switching during this displacement leg, and also part of the driver as well. But so what did we do prior to the driver? We reached a key level being a relevant swing. So there was no reversal prior to the driver, so the driver has to reverse away from this, so it would be driver reversal. If I'm turning driver reversal, I have to enter on the 5 and 3 minute to confirm the reversal with the 5 and 3 minute CSD, right? And so we see the driver opened up, created the reversal. I did not like that CSD, so I waited for a continuation order block. We got it here, but I actually counted that as my continuation order block. I didn't really see that, honestly. It was like way too quick. So I entered that kind of lower below that because of the risk to target a 2 hour. And sadly, if I did enter off of this and target and had my stop like around here or around here, I actually would have reached a 2 hour and I would have reached my take profit. So that's why the entry is the hardest part with trading, because it's not only the fact that you have to accept losing or accept the amount of risk that you're putting up onto the table, but also because there's so many ways you can enter, and also it really matters on how you enter, because if you get that perfect fill, you're most likely, if you don't get that perfect fill, you most likely won't reach your take profit. There can be a possibility where you won't reach your price won't reach your take profit, but if you got that perfect fill, price will most likely. Like in this scenario, if I had a perfect fill at this order block here instead of way up here, and my stop was like around here or below here, and I was targeting a 2 hour, price would have reached my take profit. And then we see price dump lower and literally reverse away from nothing. So like I said, I was trading lower probability days, but still, this was more of like a break even / half win. So like all 3 days were still, I would say, sort of winners in a way, or it should have been, but I guess not really, because this day was this day I honestly should have lost. I'm not sure what we did after that though. Money. This day here, I feel like I should have held on to it, and I probably would have lost. So I don't know. So maybe it's just me trading lower probability days that I shouldn't have done. say as well. Like this day here, it's kind of a lower probability day because I'm anticipating that C2 or some sort of expansion kernel. Although it's not really clean because of the filler SMT here. Price is clearly during the driver wanting to take these filler swings here. So it's like not clean to reverse away from this low. It's also not clean to reverse away from the side, so I don't know. The bias is both sided. It's not one sided. I don't know. But now at this point though, the daily doesn't really support expansion bearishly. So the daily bias is definitely one sided now, bullishly. RDY is way closer to these sides than YM is. But YM is showing strength switching, so it's a stronger asset now. So if the driver closes up here, 930 meta plates, 10 for continue, or that lines with a far profile, or 16, create that bolt profile, or 10 continuation away from usual low day or line reversal. Away from pretty low, so I just don't like how we've expanding greatly, reached a relevant swing, even though we're opening up with an ace lower time for information for GxT continuation sequence. Ideally we, I guess I could just look for, I'll just look for a 5-minute continuation entry, hopefully I get it. Everything's valid though, so C2, C3, we've expanded greatly there in C3, C2, C3, so now we might see some from a pullback. But especially during titanium's fresh opening to create that open low. But I gotta just, I don't know, go to the dealing for reverse. So it's not having to go to the T-swell, right? It's pretty large wick. It's trying to spark expansion bearishly anymore. RTY, it worked out pretty low. But, and then the drawn liquidity would do this just really shit PA. It's not clean. In the daily, so. The daily supports expansion bullishly. This is we're opening up near pretty low as well. I think it's clean how we open lower early on in the day. Took pretty low, pretty SMG, inverse away from it. It's very clean. But and also, yeah, I don't know if I should trade it there, honestly. I don't think I will, just because the failure SMT on the daily and then the weekly doesn't spark expansion bullishly. There's no clear swing point on the daily. Just the bias isn't clean. It's really not. So, 4 hour. Dropping another 4 hour. What do we got? You can see today, mid to later range low. Greater London reversal away from that C3. So we have the low date assumed or put in. So universal model would be order pair ranges, range low to range high. So assuming 6 AM expansion, 10 AM expansion away from the key level towards this target level, but I just don't like how, although the daily and 4 hours for expansion, yes, the daily bias is not claiming. It's really not. So we created SMT at E30 with this range high between Y and RTY. Then we see immediately after that C2 formed. It clearly at 9 AM fell to expand away from this SMT, which means it's failure SMT. Okay. And then you see 9 AM. So therefore, if YM is going to catch up, come on, Jared. Come on. Don't. Too big for this shit, come on. So if YM is going to catch up to break this SMT, then he's got to show some form of string switching, which we drew around the 5 or 3 minute. Obviously by the 9 AM kind of closed, it broke the SMT, but you can tell clearly that YM was showing string switching versus RTY. Do you switch to the stronger asset, leading asset, which YM RTY is closer to the draw and liquidity than YM is, so makes sense for YM to actually show string switching on the 1 hour 30 minute like this. To show string switch, I guess, to catch up to the leading asset to reach the target level. I don't know how to explain that, but yeah. But just for this SMT here, to break this SMT, which is it doesn't matter, but it does help determine on which asset to trade during the derivative, I guess you could say. But dropping down to, let me do this. Those go to the CSD first.